Hello and welcome to History Breakdown. Today we are going to talk about the causes of the French Revolution, one of the most important events in world history. The French Revolution lasted from 1789 to 1799 and completely changed France's government and society. The revolution did not happen suddenly. It was caused by many problems that built up over time. One of the biggest causes of the French Revolution was the unfair social class system called the Three Estates. French society was divided into three groups. The first estate included church leaders called clergy. Second estate included nobles who were wealthy landowners. The third estate included everyone else, such as peasants, workers, and the middle class. The third estate made up about 97% of the population, but they had the least amount of power. The third estate also paid most of the taxes. These taxes included land taxes, taxes on goods, and even a salt tax, which was required even when people were already struggling to afford food. They also had to pay church taxes and fees to nobles. Meanwhile, the first and second estates paid very little or no taxes at all. This unfair system caused anger and resentment among the people of the third estate. Another major cause of the revolution involved the rulers of France, known as monarchs. France was ruled by King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette. The monarchs had a great deal of power and control over the government. The king and queen lived in luxury at a large palace called Versailles. While they lived comfortably, many French citizens were poor and struggled to afford food. Bread prices rose, and many families faced hunger. This made people feel disconnected from their leaders and unfairly treated. France also faced serious financial problems. The country was deeply in debt because of expensive wars. France spent a large amount of money fighting in the French and Indian War. Later, France also spent money helping the American colonies during the American Revolution. These wars left France with major debt and very little money to fix problems at home. To try to solve the financial crisis, King Louis XVI called a meeting called the Estates General in one day in 789. This was unusual because the Estates General had not met in over 150 years. The meeting included representatives from all three estates, but each estate was given only one vote. This meant the first and second estates could outvote the third estate, even though the third estate represented most of the population. Once again, the third estate felt ignored and powerless. Because of this unfair system, members of the third estate broke away and formed their own group called the National Assembly. They believed they truly represented the people of France and wanted to create a fair government. Soon after forming, members of the National Assembly made a promise known as the Tennis Court Oath. They swore they would not stop working until they created a constitution that would limit the power of the monarchs and protect the rights of citizens. Tensions across France continued to grow as people became more frustrated and desperate for change. On the 14th of July, 1789, citizens attacked a prison called the Bastille. The Bastille was a symbol of royal power and control. When citizens stormed the Bastille, it showed that the people were ready to challenge the government and fight for change. This event is often considered the official beginning of the French Revolution. In conclusion, the French Revolution was caused by several major problems. The unfair social system of the three estates placed heavy taxes on the third estate while giving them little power. The monarchs lived in luxury at Versailles while citizens struggled to survive. France's debt from the French and Indian War and the American Revolution created serious financial problems. The Estates General failed to solve these issues, which led to the creation of the National Assembly, the Tennis Court Oath, and finally the attack on the Bastille, marking the start of the revolution. The French Revolution shows how unfair taxes, economic hardship, and lack of representation can lead people to demand change. Thank you for listening to History Breakdown.